Hi, I'm Keegan, and this is A Bunch of Gamers. This is our 69th episode of Werewolf the Apocalypse, 20th Anniversary Edition. I'm going to go around and have my players introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Sam. I play Cora. She's an Arun in the Get of Fenris.
I'm Tyler, and I play Kyle. He's a Philodox and has found his purpose with the Garo. He's known as Guards the Low, Child of Gaia.
Hello, I'm Adam. I play Mark Guides the Fallen, and he's a Thurge of the Children of Gaia.
Hi, I'm George. I'm playing Roy Mindscape. He is a Ragbosh with the Stargazers.
Hi, I'm Sean. I play Zeb, called Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers. He is a Theurge of the Silent Striders.
Hello, I'm Thomas. I play Dimitri Howls-In-Memory, Lupus Galliard of the Bone Gnawers.
Last time, after the moot at the Five Mirrors, many of you returned to the Sacred Stone and performed various duties, while Kyle stayed in the Five Mirrors to appease all the spirits that he had angered, performed call to duty, and called every spirit due to a prank pulled by Roy Mindscape. Also during this time, Cora and Dimitri jumped in some cars with several kinfolk to drive to the Sacred Stone. The two wanted to look over the kin and make sure they were safe in their transition, especially after the fall of the Winter Fang. Days have passed, and it has now been almost 3 days since the end of the moot. As the Moonbridge opens and a haggard Kyle steps through into the Umbrascape with all of you hanging about.
Hey, everyone.
Garzalo, you're back.
I am. Finally. All done apologizing and groveling.
I hope that went rather well.
As well as could be expected, Roy.
Well, it's better than going bad.
Well, regardless, thank you for your apologies to the spirits.
Well, I did call them, after all.
So now, what's next? The moot was
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Could still feel a tenseness in the sept, though.
I've got a feeling that things are going to be tense around here for a while.
Which is why you should all be getting some rest, Regender says.
Cora turned around. Hey.
I'm happy for everything you did, but all of you have been working extremely hard for this Karen, and it is time for you to reconnect with the world so that you will know how to fight and what to fight for.
Rest does sound good.
I won't argue.
Good.
Mark will shake his head in agreement, and he'll just head to a den, pretty much. He'll head to the den that he has his backpacks.
Okay.
Yeah, Cora will just try and go sleep a little bit. She's feeling pretty irked from the road trip.
Zeb will he'll hold behind, twitching a little bit. Honored Elder, it would do me much better to travel as a form of rest and recuperation. Surely I can be of service during this time of rest for my friends.
I suppose. We've been meaning to ask some questions of the Sept of the Unified Heart of what's going on there. If you could send the message that the right to connect to the Five Mirrors was a success, I would greatly appreciate it, as well as bring back any news of that Karen's goings-on.
Elder, whereabouts is this cairn?
It's near Seattle. It's near one of the parks.
Ah, lovely. The forest would do me good. I am most honored and thankful to carry this message for you.
Of course. Speak to them about our alliance and see if you can get any word about Eric Ironshadow. He left a few months ago to do some sort of gathering of allies in Japan, and we haven't had word from him in quite some time.
Very well, it shall be done. I will speak with Fate Dancer and determine what messages she might want to have delivered. I've done this before for her, and I'm happy to do so again.
Of course. Thank you.
All right, and then I'll go seek her out, Keegan.
You seek her out as she thanks you a bit and she goes, "The Unified Heart and me have never quite gotten along, even when I traveled there and I was an honored guest when me and Final Days wandered the Americas. I don't know, just seems that they've buried too much of their past under various different contritions to where it always feels hollow to me."
Who are the tribes that are there now?
It's mostly the children of Gaia, though there is a moderate stargazer presence, and I know there's a few get of Fenris as well.
Very well. Are there any individuals you would recommend speaking to directly?
Well, I would say you could try and speak to their Master of Right, or at least one of the Elders. They would give you some good information. Chelsea Ice Climber is a child of Gaia. She's the Grand Elder of the Karen and holds complete power there. Though William Climbs to the Heaven has strong ties with the spirits there despite his auspice. And finally, Sandra Speaks from the Beyond, who is the Master of Right. She has a strong connection to the spirits there, but I know that there are other Garu there and who will speak to you as needed.
Very well. And she didn't have anything in particular. She just wanted me to find out news, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seek the spiritual health, if you can.
Absolutely. A worthy question. Very well, Fate Dancer. I will see you soon enough and hopefully bring news back from them, as well as to Elder Regender.
Thank you.
And he'll probably do one of these things like, in the night, everyone's asleep, and he'll just slip on out, Keegan.
All right. And
And
so...
I don't know is this a moon bridge movement, or would I have to?
Yeah.
Would I need to traverse it? Okay.
It's a moon bridge. It's one of their allied Karens.
Okay, got it.
The moon bridge opens up as you pass through into the night. A spirit was sent ahead to let them know of your coming. You arrive as you see two Garu there. A fairly young woman who seems to smile, as well as another woman who seems to be in her 30s with blonde hair, with a bit of a permanent scowl upon her face, approach. As the first one goes, "Greetings, I am Renata Balanced Words, gatekeeper of the Sept of the Unified Heart."
Greetings to you both. I am Zeb Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers, child of Owl. I carry a message from the Sept of the Sacred Stone.
It's been some time since we heard word of the Sacred Stone.
Indeed, Elder Regender has sent me here to deliver it and to consult with you all on the goings-on here, too.
Ah. Well, I will continue my watch here for a bit longer. If you have some time to rest, the Karen is still quiet, and the elders sleep. They will be here in the morning. Sue, would you guide our guest to the barn?
Very well. Follow me.
Thank you.
I'm Sue Wicked Fang.
It's very nice to meet you, Wicked Fang. Everyone just calls me Zeb. How long have you been here?
I've been here since my first change.
Ah, very good. Very good. Thank you for guiding me through here. I've never been here before. I looked forward to seeing the forests and the lands here of the Northwest.
They are something to see.
Much conflict has happened of late. Everywhere for us, and I suppose it's an enduring thing.
Do you run packless, Strider?
I do not. I am currently of a pack, our totem, Owl. We are called the Inferno Alphas. There are, two of us and soon to be three. A friend that we came upon recently that we are asking to join us. The rite will likely be complete soon.
The Infernal Alphas. I've heard of your Roy Kinkiller.
I don't know if that label is entirely accurate, but you speak of the Ravens and what happened at the moot, indeed.
He tricked many of their kin to pretend to be of the worm, and he led them to slaughter at the hands of two septs.
I can only speak to the fact that within him, Roy is not an evil man or guru, and he thought he was bringing folks together when in fact it definitely appeared that it went poorly.
He's a junkie enabler, a worm spreader. Many things will go poorly for him.
Again, there are many things to be said about the questioning way of Roy, but again, my friend, my packmate, I can speak to him neither being of the worm or again, falling to such darkness, but this is something that we will likely have to work to atone for among the kin of the Korax and their spirits for this wrong.
You said he's not of the worm. Well, using Korax kin, perhaps he wishes to prove himself in the Third War of Rage.
Yeah, I do not believe that Roy hungers for war. I think what he did was from a place where he did not foresee the consequences of his action. Something of youth, and again, if word has traveled here, is there much discontent now with him and his action? I can certainly speak to the fact that Roy does not seek war or conflict. These are things not of his nature. He does seek peace and understanding.
Not seeking war or conflict. Well, it's going to come to all of us. Those are not seeking war or conflict is a coward's way.
Again, my packmate, my friend, he knows when there is the fight. He knows when wrongs must be righted. Knowing that this has occurred, that kin have been harmed, and friends of our people have been wronged, I do not believe he would let this stand without addressing it and trying to make up for it.
He knows when to shoot up, and when to drag down the poor.
I understand you are judging by his actions and what has occurred now. I can only speak to the guru that I know and the goodness he has done, but very clearly there has been a serious wrong here. And as I've said, I shall have to carry this message back to inform more than just him that kin of yours of this cairn here have been wronged in a prank. Have the Korax brought this before the elders of this cairn yet? This wrong?
He's too fucked up with his drugs to know who to attack. But yes, the Korax have brought it up.
If by drugs you just mean foolishness, then perhaps, but I don't know what you're talking about when you say that he's just an enabler and a drug pusher. This is not the guru I know.
Roy lived nearby in Seattle. He sold drugs. He spread the worm taint through those drugs.
I was a witness to this only in part on a journey that we took through the Umbra, witnessing as a third party the death of his family, friends, other people that he knew. As Owl guided us, I assumed there was something of that nature going on, but again, to the guru that I know, this might be something he is guilty of, but he is beyond it now. It would not understands, at least, what that spread meant. It was part of understanding why the guru would attack those people to stop that taint and that spread.
His family and friends? You mean the people he was here with to sell more drugs? I remember the night that we hunted them down and rid the world of their wormish influence.
I am no friend to the whispers of Weaver nor the taint of the worm and what it does here and among us, and its cancer among these people that drives desperation. So in that line, you and I are entirely aligned. Again, I can only speak to a most frustrating member of my pack, who I've had to go on many journeys of enlightenment for to make sure he did not decide to take the wrong path in the guise of understanding and instead betraying all that we stand for. So yes, as it grates upon me to know that this activity would be something he'd be a part of and a secret, and to claim that he was so wronged by the guru that would attempt to stop it is both, shocking, yes, disappointing, more so. But again, I can only speak to the guru now that has fought against the worm, that has fought among us, and has done his level best that only Roy can to make sure that the worm influence stops. Unfortunately, the message must be loud and abundantly clear for him to understand, as was the message that your pack sent when it had to do something most important, and I recognize the need to stem that evil taint that the worm spreads. Again, I can only speak to the guru that I know now.
At this point, I just see Sue smiling and holding back laughs at how frustrated Zeb is feeling at Roy.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah, his good eye will give that little twitch,
As you reach the guest area,
You'll sleep here tonight. You'll be able to speak with our elder in the morning.
Very well, Sue. Thank you very much. The information that you gave was still important to my understanding. We can talk
Wicked
more.
Fang.
Very well, Wicked Fang. We can speak more about this in the morning if you have time before I depart. I would be happy to take as much information back about what has happened and what the Korax and their kin would like that message to be.
If I have any information that our elder does not give you that is important for you to take back, then I can share that. Good night.
Good night, warrior.
It's the next morning. Zeb, you awaken, and you are brought before the 3 elders of the Karen. As they nod and greet you, the first one speaking, Ice Climber, "Welcome, traveler. It is a pleasure to meet you." Climbs to heaven, goes, "Your journey has been long, we see, and it is good to finally meet you. Striders bring much news, and this Karen is always open to it." And finally, the last one, known as Swirling Mountain, goes, "A pleasure."
Honored elders, I am Zeb Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers. I am a Theurge of the Silent Striders. I carry a message from Regender, elder of the Sept of the Sacred Stone.
At that you see Ice Climber's face kind of light up. You can tell they have a past.
Very well. I present this message to you in the wholeness that I received it, without embellishment nor truncation. I have no personal vested interest in its delivery, only that your ears hear it as it has been commanded by an elder of the Guru Nation. He would announce to you, the 3 of you, you elders here and your cairn, that the rite of connection has been complete, a successful link between the sacred stone and the 5 mirrors. These cairns are now connected via Moonbridge and enjoy an alliance in the wake of a celebration that occurred 2 days ago. At this time, they are linked together not only for travel, but for continued battle against the worm in the wake of losses that have occurred in Minnesota and other areas of the Midwest United States, well, North America as we know it here. I do not know if there are other pieces you would care to know about tone or intonation. I am happy to answer your queries now here, elders, as your servant of our people.
We know some. We have a bit of information for you. Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers. The one you had mentioned, Iron Shadow. He has sent word recently, but 2 nights ago. It seems that he is connected with his allies and plans to return to the Sacred Stone soon. He will pass through this cairn first, of course, as that is his way.
This is good news. There was much concern for Elder Regender about the fate of Iron Shadow.
It seems also that the Red Talons are growing restless up north, just past Vancouver in the more rural parts of Canada. There's rumors that they're attempting to perform an Impergium light among the humans who dare cross a certain boundary. It seems that they've made some sort of deal with Little Brother, who also has goals for the region.
Does that Impergium spread to all other folk aside from the humans that would be there? Or is it entirely confined to ensuring their territory is free from their encroachment?
It's in their territory and just outside of it. They go to places where there is no Karen. At least none that's been claimed. That way, the humans don't zero in on their Karen's location. Part of that's smart. Part of me thinks that they're in it for the blood now. We've been debating on what to do.
Very well, Elder. I can carry this message back to see if those among us, whether our Master of Rites, Fate Dancer, or Elder Regender, can weigh upon this and determine a path from visions or otherwise revealed.
Good luck. We have tried, but I think Regender has too much at home as is. And isn't there a Red Talon Karen not far from the Sacred Stone? I doubt he would want to anger them, given his dream of unity. One that I personally share, but one where certain tribes strain my ability to forgive certain actions.
His time serving Gaia is certainly longer than mine, as are the 3 elders assembled here. I cannot speak to any of the goals that the elder has, but certainly unity is one of them. Again, I will carry any message you see fit without embellishment. I will only mention the event and nothing else if that is what's preferred.
That is preferred for now. I don't. If you think there's anything to be gained, please share it. That is my recommendation. And the last bit is that our spiritual health has been in decline here. As you know, as Regender well knows, this is one of the greatest Karens in the United States. The strongest, except for the ancient legendary ones that are said to have been lost to time, with the exception of certain ones like the legendary Avalon. But it seems that something is encroaching, whether it is humanity or the Weaver. We notice that the park rangers have to do more and more to keep this forest alive and how it was, and with that level of control, the threads of the Weaver start to grow amongst the forest, even though there are no buildings here. And soon I fear that it will strangle the Karen, and I fear that that strangle will grow and strangle other Karens of great power, and that the Sacred Stone might become one of the greatest Karens in the nation, if not the world, simply because that is as great of a Karen there can be anymore.
This is most alarming, Elder. I can only speak to an example that had occurred, a Karen that had recently fallen, and the slow decay that had occurred there as the worm made its encroachment. Again, their goals were to rape Gaia's bounty through the building of a plant to produce paper. Nonetheless, though that encroachment is concerning for the beauty and majesty out here, I cannot help but gaze upon and enjoy. But I will carry that, and perhaps I can speak to the other theaters that I know about spirits that move through here and those that we know.
Good. Well, if that is all the information we have. Wicked Fang, if you would please escort our guest back to the Moon Bridge, it would be greatly appreciated.
Very well, Elder. As they make their way to the Moon Bridge.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I'll make my way with Wicked Fang.
As soon as they get to the Moon Bridge, Sue's gonna turn to Zeb. Remember, he is as worthless as his family.
He may yet prove his worth. I would ask you one other thing, Warrior of Fenrir, aside from Roy Mindscape, and that is, what have you seen as a warrior on the ground when it comes to the decline or taint here? Do you see it on the rise? Do you see it harder to hold it back? Not that you fear anything, but do you see more than you have?
I have. It's risen faster than expected.
Very well, Wicked Fang. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Very well. And I'll step back across the Moon Bridge, Keegan.
As you step back across the Moon Bridge, all right. During this time, Dimitri, about 2, maybe 3 days after Zeb returns, you've finally gotten some time to sit around. Steven had been out of the cairn for a while before he finally starts to approach you. Noticing that you seem to have taken up some residence here, he approaches with a big, jovial smile.
Hey, Dimitri. You, putting down roots here?
I believe so. I think I'm going to be staying for a while, at least.
That's good to hear. Always could use more, troublemakers.
I don't know how much trouble I'll be, but if you need help with anything, I'll make some trouble with you.
Good. Glad to hear it. So what do you have planned for today?
Making sure everyone is settled in. I know Veronica mentioned getting in touch with some of the local LGBT groups, and I wanted to check in with Barry and Mallory and see how they are doing.
Okay, those are the kin from your sept, yeah?
Yes, the Bonar kin.
Well, I do happen to know a few Bonars. Well, there is Inside Out. That's a youth group here. Could always bring you by there if you'd like.
Perhaps if you don't mind leading the way.
Sure. Had stuff to do in the city anyway.
And so you lead the way, heading downtown, going to the local youth group. As you see Veronica smiling as she looks at Dimitri and waves. She's fairly cleaned up. She's been able to get a shower in since the move.
Dimitri is going to wave back. Veronica, you look great. You look better.
Yeah, so I went in, I did some application stuff, and one of the people there was so nice. They bought me a gym membership, which means I was able to use the showers.
Oh, that's good to hear. That was very nice of them.
Yeah. Hey, Dim, who's the friend?
This is Steven. I told you about him on the way here.
Oh, that's right. You're the famous Steven. I should have guessed from the white hair.
Oh, yeah, famous. I suppose so. It's good to meet you. Steven, are people around, like other people?
Yeah, there are other people.
Okay, then he will not give his Garu name.
Okay. It's really nice to meet you. Do you know any good places? The shelter's full for the night, but so do you know any good places to sleep around here, Steven?
Yeah, a few. It changes every week with the fucking pigs, but I can find you a place.
Great. Dim, you coming? I mean, you need to know this stuff too, right?
Yeah, I'm coming along. Have you heard from Mallory or Barry yet?
Yeah, Mallory is on the south side. She was looking for Bonar kin signs in that area. I think she found them, but no one was there yet.
Yeah, I can introduce you to all the local kin.
Perfect. Yeah, we can get them. I know she's down on the south side, and Barry, he's been wandering around. He just hitchhiked up to Denver just to get a sense of things, trying to figure out the routes.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope he has a safe trip back.
He should. He's been around. He knows how the hitchhiking game works.
This isn't too dangerous of a place. Most you got to deal with usually is the cold or fucking cops, but
yeah.
They're bad everywhere though.
I guess so. We were in pretty rural part of town, so they didn't care too much as long as we cleaned up after ourselves. But then, complaints happened enough they'd kick us out.
Yeah, well, just let me or Kyle know if anything happens.
Who's Kyle?
Oh, he's also, one of me, but he's one of the children. But he was one of my flock back in the day before his first time.
Oh, okay. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a happy accident.
Happy accident? As Veronica smiles and gives Dimitri kind of a shove, going, "Come on, Dim, you gotta speak up. Be a little more gallant like your friend here. Otherwise, I might have to have a new person for the big brother role."
I'll try to speak up. I just with everything that happened on the road trip, I guess I'm still a little on edge, but I'm fine.
Okay, if you're not doing fine, just let me know, okay? We all care about you.
I know. I'll let you know.
Okay.
The shelter you were talking about, Steven. Do you mind leading the way? If Veronica, you're done with your stuff here.
Yeah, I'm done.
Sure. I can show you all the local shelters, and I can, show you all the camps too. At least the ones that are still around today.
All right, thanks. And she puts her arm in under Dimitri's and hooks it, and then hooks Steven's. Well, boys, you gonna give a gal an escort then?
Of course, you read my mind. And Dimitri's gonna hook his arm around hers.
All right, let's get to it then.
As Steven starts bouncing around the city, showing various places and, things of that nature. As he shows the shelters, and then he finally brings her to one of the camps. It's pretty well hidden. It's to the south side, near one of the old abandoned railways. Not a lot of people come by this way right now. Not a lot to do out here, as there are several tents up, things like that. It's a little messy, but the people here are clearly looking out for each other, sharing snacks and things like that.
Hopefully this place treats you well, unless you choose to go for one of the shelters if they have an opening.
Yeah. No, it's great. I might try and do one of the shelters just because it'll be easier to take my hormones there, but this is great. Thank you, Steven. And you keep an eye on us?
Of course, always. We have to stick together after all.
We do. Wow. This is way bigger than some of the communities up by the old Sept.
Yeah, it's a big city.
Yeah, it seems
so
that
lots of us around.
Yeah, we've been walking for hours. Jeez.
Yeah, it's the buses aren't great here. You can try, but
yeah, underfunded, I get it.
Well, and it's all out, right? None of it built up, so it's a long ways to get to anything, even for the buses.
Okay, good to know. Hey, as she kind of wraps an arm around Steven, thanks. You too, Dim, as she comes in and pulls him in for a hug, too.
Dimitri's going to return the hug and I'll say, you're welcome. And like Steven said, we'll watch over you.
I really appreciate you two.
Anytime.
As you two start heading back to the Sept, you have a bit of time to converse if you so choose.
So hey man, what happened on the road trip? I thought you were just bringing him back.
I was on the radio. There was an ad for Good House International, the company that built over where my sept used to be after it was attacked. And I don't know. I know I want to stay around here, but part of me wants to go back to where the Winter Fang sept used to be and make sure no one has built anything there. And I don't know. I heard the ad and I just wanted to, I guess, burn everything down. I was just full of rage. I almost went into a frenzy in the car, but I stopped myself long enough to step out of the car and take my rage out on something else.
Shit, man. Hey, I get it. I know what it's like to lose your home. But look, I'm glad the kin are okay. And I'm glad you're okay too. And if revenge is what you need to feel better, hey, that's what you need. But there's a place here for you if you want it. Before or after or during your revenge.
Thank you, Stephen. Maybe revenge is what I need, but I know there's a part of me that knows that revenge can easily turn into just ceaseless killing, and I don't want to fall down a path that will lead me astray to something that I don't want to be.
I guess, but it's not like you were the ones who started it.
That's a good point.
They came to your home. They fucked with your people. So if you want revenge, man, I'd say it's justified.
And Dimitri's gonna pause for a moment as he nods and says, "I'll think about it."
But hey, I'm not trying to convince you either way. I make my own bad decisions. Well, at least according to everyone at the Sept.
Oh, maybe it's something I need to talk to a Thurge about. I've been talking to another pack that I might be joining soon.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the Infernal Alphas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they, I guess they've been running with here a little bit now. I don't know if they call this place home yet, but...
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask them. They seem to be more mobile, so I don't know where they plan on going next, or if they intend on staying here in the Sacred Stone.
Well, hey man, you gotta follow your heart, but could always use more people to protect the kin here. Never hurts. And I'm sure Veronica would appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure she would. I I don't want any of them to feel like I'm leaving them behind or anything.
Well, hey, don't worry, man. We'll get them taken care of no matter what, whether you're here or not. I promise. They've been through enough shit already.
Yes, they have been. I don't know. Part of me still wishes I could have talked them into letting more of the kin come here, but maybe that's just me wanting to keep the old home together.
Where'd the rest of them go?
Oh, to a few different ways. To the Sept of the Hidden Glade and the Sept of the Peak of the Sentinel.
Okay, I've heard of Hidden Glade. It's not a bad place.
Yes, I know it's in Boston. I actually wanted to ask you if you knew of any Bone Gnawer moots coming up. I know, I believe the first time we met, you mentioned the big one in New York.
I mean, that's the big one. And, well, ever since Pueblo got wiped out, there aren't any really near here anymore. But I'm sure if we look, we can find some for you nearby. Nearby-ish. You know, maybe a moon bridge or two.
Maybe. I think maybe one of the things I need is to be with fellow members of the tribe.
Steven is gonna clap you on the back and be like, I getcha. It can get a little lonely out here now.
But we have each other.
That's right.
And so you guys return. You guys hang out for a couple days as you get the other kin situated. It goes pretty well, all things considered, right? And so we now go back to Mark. It has been about a week or so. You've been preparing, saving up money and preparing to go on your camping trip deep in the woods.
Yes. So what I definitely wanted to do is definitely get one of those backpacks attuned to me.
Okay.
But yeah, like he's gonna go on a camping trip. He feels he's accomplished a lot in just his first year. His birthday's coming up. He's realizing that, and
actually, I think your birthday has now come.
Oh yeah, he is now come and gone. He is 16 years old, guys. He is 16 years old.
Woohoo! Congratulations.
So to celebrate his 16th birthday, he's gonna go camping.
You can drive now.
Not according to my character sheet.
You have the potential to drive.
It's okay. Dimitri can chaperone. He'll drive.
Nice. So, one thing he definitely wants to do is he wants to check in with Stands with the River.
Okay,
Because
so you're heading back to the 5 mirrors first?
yes, because it's in the 5 mirrors he wanted to take his camping trip pretty much.
Okay. And so you do,
Okay, sweet.
as they look at you and go, oh, welcome back.
Good to be back, guys. Oh, and he'll kind of lower his shoulders finally passing the threshold of home after a long journey. And his brow will kind of grow a little heavy. Oh man, I've been through a lot, guys.
Have you?
Oh, we all have, definitely. But I'm here to reconnect a little bit. And I need to speak with the Elder, if she's available.
Okay, as you approach, as Stands with the River nods, welcome back, Mark.
Good to be back. But before I head out to my own doings again, I would like to discuss with you something in private. Do you have time?
I have some time. What is it?
Mark will kind of look around and make sure no one else is listening. I speak of the pact I made with you about a secret.
Oh, yes.
Well, hopefully this alliance that I strived for helps a lot with that. And do know that I've not said a word. I've not said a thing. Clearly because I'm still here talking to you about it.
Yeah, it's... we can discuss at a later time. It looks like you're haggard.
Oh, definitely. I was gonna stop by the old cabin. It's definitely gonna be a lot more empty these days.
Okay. Hey, sounds like it'll be a good trip.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it will. If you would like to come along, but I know you have probably a lot of matters to take care of, Elder.
Sadly, we cannot spare anyone for the time being.
Well, if there's anything I could help out quickly with before I leave for my little meditation trip, just let me know. I'll be at the old cabin.
Sure.
And I'll make my way towards there and be sure to kind of take the long way, maybe hopefully run into somebody else.
As you take the long way, nothing really, though you hear something kind of whispering to you. It's distant, faint, almost as if not on this side of the gauntlet.
I will use my spirit speech, and I will kind of slow my pace, and I'll go, "Speak up, I'm having a hard time hearing you."
It still comes through muffled. It seems like you'll have to pass through to the other side of the gauntlet.
I'll make my way towards a shoreline, and
Okay.
I'll look into the lake and try
Alright.
to pass through the Umbra.
You start to pass through the Umbra as you are far away enough from the cairn that it is no longer cairn grounds, and it is difficulty 5 to pass over.
Oof.
So you're unable to pass through, but after an hour you finally make it.
Damn, that took forever.
As you see a great spirit. It's an aspen tree. As you see the great spirit seeming to pass through in all directions, the massive leaves and the white bark shimmering in the ever-present dim light of Helios.
I will walk towards the tree, and I will raise my hand in greeting and go, "Spirit, I couldn't help but hear you from the other side. Is there anything I could help with?"
Yes. You could have gotten here sooner.
Oh, well, certainly I didn't know about this, but I'm here now. What can I help you with? And Mark will kind of passively just stand there.
I've been meaning to talk with someone about the wisdom of this world. I do not wish for it to blow away. I wish to pass it on to someone who is worthy, possibly someone like you.
Oh, well, Spirit, I'm honored by this, that you would seek me out, but you wish to discuss the wisdom of the world? Because I would gladly have a discussion with you, Spirit. I find myself in between points and with no real time scale.
I wish to pass on the knowledge that the earth is hurting. My roots ache. The birds don't sing as clear. The animals, the plants, it feels sickly.
Mark will cross his arms and shake his head in agreement. This is most certainly true. I've witnessed it myself. Just recently, I came across a glorious forest filled with trees as wondrous as you, Spirit. But this taint and this corruption that you feel had overcome the forest. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to speak to them. I wasn't able to hear them out. But I'm glad that you reached out to me, Spirit. And he'll kind of put a caring, tender hand on the tree. I'm sorry I didn't get here soon enough. And then Mark is going to kind of, is there like a umbral branch on the ground or something?
Yes.
Mark is gonna pick it up, and then he's gonna head over to the umbral waters and dip it in, and then he's gonna reach in his pack and he's gonna kind of light it a little bit, and then he's gonna kind of start the rite of cleansing on the tree. Maybe this will help him a little bit, but to not give away what he's doing, he's gonna continue, Spirit. I'd like to hear more of your story. Perhaps maybe not speak of the corruption and the worm that is clearly evident here, but maybe perhaps Speak of the knowledge of the birds that you can pass, of the lake, of the wind. Think of the positive things that you could pass on.
For as old as I am, there are many things that I would be glad to pass on, such as the rivers and the lakes that have been clear since before my birth. The animals, I feed them, and then they feed me. Such is the way of the world.
Such it is. And I'll begin circling the tree, waving around the smoldering branch. Taking my time. I'm in no rush for this rite to be done. He wants to hear this spirit's story, for someone must listen to it.
For with the food that we each consume, there is a sense of balance. I could name each spirit that has come to me with both wants and needs, and also what they have provided me. And as such, I would like to pass this information on, so that it and the spirits can continue to live. The birds in my branches sing a joyous song, and their children and their children's children have all sung the same song.
Sounds like it would have been a glorious chorus.
Oh, but it was. And the animals on the ground provided a great rhythm that the birds sang with. Though the moon sets on the Qualmy, he still visits once every solar year.
Qualmy? Excuse my ignorance, spirit, but what is a qualmy? And I'll continue just circling around, but just with an inquisitive look on my face.
A qualmy is one who jests. His pointed ears are for hearing of the greatest secrets, and he has large clawed paws there to capture mysteries.
Mark will kind of put it in the back burner of his brain that this is probably just another spiritual entity that he could come across. But now he knows what he can look out for. Interesting, spirit. Never heard of such a creature. Certainly, you have seen many, many creatures throughout your life. And you also speak of names. But how very rude of me. I'm sorry I haven't yet to introduce myself. I am Guides the Fallen.
Well, it's been great talking to you, Guides the Fallen. I will also introduce myself as Endless Aspen of the Wood.
It is an honor to know your name. Is there any other knowledge you wish to pass on before you yourself pass on?
There is an old house deep in the forest. It is a terrible place. It is a place that someone took more of my children than he needed to warm his home. He took more than he needed to build. It has been many of seasons of both green and yellow and orange and red since he's gathered and stolen these parts of me. I can still feel his presence, and I ask of you, Mark, guides the fallen, to help discover why. In exchange for this, I can teach you what I know of the Eshtara.
I will gladly do this, Spirit. And I will do this before your passing, so that you may know and have this knowledge and be comforted with it. And I'll give a gnosis to seal the deal.
So I'll go ahead and extend a branch to accept it.
Thank you, Mark guides the fallen.
You're very welcome. And please, if I were to ask of one thing of you, just hold on long enough so that I may complete this.
I've waited this long. A few more years would not be the end of me.
Truly, tree spirits are a patient kind. Thank you so much, Reverend Spirit. And Mark will give a little bow to kind of mark his little end of his rite of cleansing.
Okay. And so you start moving off, heading towards the cabin area. You see little bits of aspen and a few other aspen spirits popping from the earth, nodding and swaying with the wind.
I'm still in the Umbra. I see a log cabin. Aspens swaying. I'll go up to one of the aspens and I'll give a little knock and go, "Hello, spirit."
Mark guides the fallen.
Endless aspen of the wood. Is this the cabin that you speak of?
It is.
Is there like a kind of like a spiritual presence? Like, is there a gnosis presence on the other side that Mark could see?
No, it's something here specifically. You just feel it in the Umbra. It's a strange bit of gloom.
Well, spirit, I'll go and investigate. And Mark will just slowly make his way towards the cabin, keeping his head about, looking back and forth. And I will actually turn into Glabro form.
Okay. You go into Glabro and you enter the cabin. It's rotted. The smell of grave dirt everywhere. There's also the smell of cold, like a bitter winter wind.
Mark will sniff the air. Ugh. Something festers here. And I'll enter and I'll give a knock of the cabin. Is there anyone here I could speak with?
So the door slowly kind of like swings open to like a kind of bedroom area.
Mark will enter.
You see the moldy sheets on a bed made of just feathers. The feathers seeming like also kind of just partially decayed, poking out of holes in the mattress itself. The pillows kind of having a kind of slick grayish outline on them.
Is this where you wanted to lead me? Or is there something you need to tell me, spirit?
From the bed starts to shake as you see kind of this old, gaunt face, long whiskers, face covered in frostburn as you see him open his mouth, missing a few teeth as you hear him going, "Ah, so cold," before vanishing.
Okay. That's why he's probably chopping down all the trees, because he's still so cold. That must mean, on the other side, his body is probably still there. Is there like a fireplace, like a hearth nearby?
Yes.
Does it look like it's been used in the Umbra?
In the Umbra, it's a constant smoldering, of coals with a Arctic-like wind blowing down the chimney and towards you.
Turn back to the bed. Spirit, did you die here?
Could I get a Dex Athletics difficulty 8?
Okay.
You're able to dodge out of the way just barely as this axe comes slamming down. You see the man in kind of like woolly clothes of furs and things like that as you hear him going, "Chop him up! Chop him up! Burn him! Burn him! Burn me!
Oh, shoot. I'm going to use Spirit Snare on him.
Okay. Alright, as you fling the spirit snare around it, it seems to capture him, and then as you pull, it passes through him. As your spiritual tether seems unable to bind him, as he just goes, You got rope, burn it down too. Burn the rope, get us some more maze. He swings the axe again. Could I get just a standard Dex Athletics roll? Diff 6. As he misses, the axe kind of hits, the head flies off, and it regrows slowly as you hear kind of like moaning as you see little hands climbing up the clutch of the axe and then free-forming the head of it.
Oof. Shoot. Crap, I wasn't expecting this. I would have had Unicorn's Arsenal ready. I want to, kind of palm him in the face. Not necessarily to try to damage him, but to try to, push him out of the way to see if maybe I can make any sort of physical contact with him.
All right. Make a roll.
Okay.
So you swing as you knock him right in his face as he grabs his nose and just screams. He lets go of the axe as he vanishes. The axe lands and just stays there.
I'm going to pick up the axe.
Okay. It feels real. It doesn't feel like it's made out of ephemera. And you notice the dried blood at the edge of it.
So, hold on, wait a second. I'm in the Umbra. This thing just became real?
It seems like it's some sort of physical item, yes.
Oh, wow.
Somehow.
I don't... Out of character. I don't want to seem like if I'm overthinking this or not, but I kind of want to go into the physical and get a good look at this log cabin.
Okay.
I would feel that maybe trying to solve something in the physical is going to help in the Umbra.
Yeah, there's broken glass and mirror here, so you will be able to use that.
And I'm going to be sure to be holding the axe while I pass through.
All right, you instantaneously pass into the physical realm.
Do I still have the axe?
No, because it's a physical item. You'd have to be attuned to it.
Ah, so it's stuck in there now. Okay. I'm going to switch into lupus form.
Okay.
And I'm going to start sniffing and digging for bodies.
All right. So can I get a perception alertness? We're going to go with lupus form difficulty 5. You get something as you get to the bed. You see the kind of withered skeleton that's actually molded down into the feathers. You have to dig through some of the feathers.
I will dig through some of the feathers without trying to disturb the body.
You see the body there lying, partially mummified. You see a rusted axe head by his side and a rotted wooden handle. The years dissolving it into nothing but barely pulp, if not really just compost. The hand quickly jumps out and gets you by the throat real quick, just grabbing some of your hair and pulling some out, but doesn't get a firm grasp as the skeleton looks at you as it starts to almost breathe, as it's like, give me back my relic, as the body stops.
Give me back my relic. Oh, okay. Mark's gonna pick up the axe head and pick up the rotted handle. And
as
try
it just kind of dissolves into your hand.
Mark's gonna take the axe head and kind of put it with the body, and he's gonna kind of leave the body, kind of in like a passing like pose, like no, someone took the time to put him in this because he was passing, so on and so forth.
Okay.
And Mark is gonna start the rite of passing for this guy.
Okay.
And throughout the rite, he's gonna try to talk to him, try to see if maybe he can bring him back to some sort of like umbral sanity, if that makes sense, because it seems like he's definitely lost.
As the head kind of pokes through the wall, you see the wood actually warp to the face of the man as he goes, "Ah! I'll burn you, bastard! Give me them pretty pellets!"
Mark guides the fallen. Mark.
Yes, I'm here.
Destroy the place that he clings so desperately. Destroy it.
Mark, understanding the grave nature and tone from Endless, he's gonna switch to Krynos,
Okay.
and he's going to just start taking the place apart, not like crazy or anything. He's just gonna, like, precision destruction, if that makes sense.
Okay. As you do so, and the place comes down, the spirit thanks you, and you're able to continue the rest of your camping trip. You'll be away for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Cora, after a few weeks of relaxing with Eleanor, getting some information about your family at the Sacred Stone, you have some time to yourself. The necklace still weighing upon you.
Yes, so I want to follow up on that, and I am going to go follow up with Judith about this necklace that she's given me.
Okay, you can attempt that. The necklace is currently inert.
Okay, so I have to spend a point
You
of
don't
gnosis
spend, you
for
just
it.
roll.
Oh, I rolled gnosis. Okay.
Difficulty, the gnosis on the fetish, which I believe was 5. It once again fills you with all these kinds of emotions as this necklace starts to shake and point. It points to the east of you this time.
All right, I will follow it.
You follow it as you keep going, moving across the cairn grounds until you see it at a parked car pointing directly at the side mirror.
Umbra. All right, I will try to make sure that... Is this car, like, in the Sept grounds?
Yeah, it's in the park.
Okay, I'll make sure that no one is around before I attempt to step sideways.
Okay, you look around. It doesn't appear that there's anyone around.
Alrighty, and if I take my time, do I have to roll?
Yes, you still have to roll.
Okay.
You pass through instantaneously, and the necklace stops pointing. It falls down and becomes unattuned the moment you enter the Umbra.
Is there a way for me to reattune it?
Yeah, you can just make the roll again. You activate again as it shakes, and it explodes in a burst of color. The necklace just shining in every which direction as the whole area around you seems to warp and shift as you see patterned threads between this world and the physical world actually starting to snap slightly as the world rumbles, and you see masses of wildlings starting to shoot off in all directions before an image of Judith seems to appear, shaking there barely as you see her holding something as she speaks up. "The lands of chaos seems to call to you, friend. Powers are growing in the world. Are you willing to see the prelude to war? The terrors you must unleash? You'll have to seek soon. A messenger arrives. I do not know when." The message cuts off, and you hear kind of a rumble, like great steps, as there is a spirit that seems to shift and change back and forth, never standing in one place for long. Its eyes glow, its body hard to discern as it seems to shift between the shape of a man, a woman, a beast, an amalgamation of everything and nothing at all. A Simba, a Kwalmi, a Garou, everything and nothing at once. It is endlessly streaming as it approaches you. It's what you can only discern as eyes gazing upon you.
Coral will take a quick second to think, and just try and channel the Thurges that she knows, and just, Spirit, I don't have your speech, your language, but I hope that you can understand me. Who are you?
Shapeshifter, Garou, what have you done? What is this? Who are you? What do you mean? How do you force your will upon the tapestry? What do you look upon with this in your hand?
Is he pointing at my necklace? Or...
Yes.
Okay. Spirit, it was a gift from another changer. I was hoping it would lead me to them. It was guiding me. I am Cora Two-Hearts.
Guru, Cora Two-Hearts, your understanding is small, your vision is narrow. You seek a single destination amongst the infinite. All that is around you, all that sways, your eyes are still half closed. You do not know what you seek. The tool you have is wrong. It is instead a danger that you cannot comprehend, for you cannot see what we can.
Then, Spirit, I humbly ask of you to explain it to me so that I may understand.
Very well, Garu, Cora Two-Hearts. Across this infinite tapestry, the threads of time that intersect what is, what was, what will be. Looking out upon this awe-inspiring, this every moment together, here together at once. What this is, what you have, what you dare to wield here. Power and order over what is chaos, what is born of the maelstrom, what is ever-changing and ever-existing in every moment across infinity. That is what you hold in your hand, an abomination. Whatever gave you that is an enemy to me, and an enemy to what this eternity stands for. And for you to hold it in your hand like a petty bauble is even more dangerous in our esteem.
Spirit, you say that this item is dangerous, and you say that it stands against this place, and whoever gave it to me is the enemy. Part of it goes against what I've learned, and I still don't understand how an item that was meant to lead me to someone is a danger to this place. Am I missing something that this item does that I haven't discovered yet?
For time immemorial, as people, as changers, as magi, as others attempt to stretch and wield time in all of its glory and all of its eternity, never understanding such small segments they choose to wield and form. That is an attempt at control over that which is everlasting and almighty. I am shocked that a guru, shape-changer, Cora Two-Hearts would have this in possession now, as all such abominations, as all such petty attempts at myopic control over something so vast and glorious that no one mind can hold it, should still exist. I can think of the mighty seers of Chronos brought low as they attempted to wield time in such a way to apply control and methodology. What an insult to the infinite tapestry and its many threads. Any idea that it could be wielded by one or by one item for what? One game, one time, one moment. Ridiculous.
Spirit, I am doing my very best to understand the wisdom you are graciously bestowing upon me. Are you saying that a mage created this item? That it is something that the Garu would never use because of that?
You focus on the who. I will tell you the what this is and what it affects. Imagine a time that exists here again in this tapestry, where man has rejected the shape changers, has banded together, are hale and strong, and their devotion to one part of the triad has made them live forever in lives of order and prosperity without fear of your kind hunting them down. That is what the item that you hold is in your hand, one of my kin, bound in one portion of the triad. Now, imagine separated from the maelstrom an insult, an abomination to time and its eternity.
A weaver item. Why would she send me? You're saying one of your kin is trapped in here.
It is an essence of fates, of innumerable paths, vital into how we pass as the great maelstroms rise and fall, as time and eternity lash out and continue forever, all becoming one. That is the one portion of it, there, bound in your hand. It is a threat and a danger, and you should.
I understand. Spirit, I don't know. I am not a Thurge. Clearly. I don't know much about spiritual matters. And I would be grateful if you were to tell me what you are a spirit of. I will do as you say. I guess I'm curious.
I know your tongue, so I will speak. I will speak in terms you would understand. Garou, Shape Changer, Cora Two-Hearts, I am Philodox, I am Theurge, I am all these phases of Luna that you all follow. All is infinite, all possibilities laid bare before me. I am reckoning of 1,000 futures. I know the end of infinity, and it continues changing, ever-changing, intersecting, weaving to form this tapestry upon which all of us are a part. You sit in one segment of it now. You have used this item. You have brought it here. Why in this possibility, here and now, on a path that you have chosen of innumerable ones to choose? What do you see? Where do you intend to go?
Spirit, I seek to help the Garou nation in the time of Ragnarok to be successful in our endeavor of ending it. And with that, she will shift and crush the necklace, the pendant in her Krynos paw.
As you crush the necklace, it explodes out frantically as your hand explodes into a bloody mess, taking
That's
3
fine.
points of aggravated damage.
That's fine.
As you see another spirit whirling there, ever changing, as it looks at you and goes,
So you do not need me to find the shell of the world.
Oh no. I suppose.
Then I wish luck to you. Cora, Peacebringer, child of Gaia.
No! Shit! No! Don't do that to me.
Why do you lead Cora Two-Hearts, get a Fenris?
Because it is my desire to be part of the Get of Fenris. To be a warrior for the Garou nation.
That is your choice. Your choices. Many choices. All that happened. All the time. Cora fights in the darkness. Bonar of the Garou nation.
I don't understand. I am neither child of Gaia or Bonar. I am Cora Two-Hearts of the Fenrir.
You are all of them. All of them at once. Do you think your choices stop mattering? Just because this is the path this particular Cora walks down?
Cora stops and thinks for a moment, kind of rethinking what the spirit had said to her before. So in other times, I could have been a Bonar or a child of Gaia. My deed name could have been different.
Another time, in another place, you would have never been. For I see you now, shimmering in and out of existence as my mind travels the cosmos with my brother, reckoning of 1,000 futures. We see you as never born, for the wars of Rain is lost, and the Garou defeated. We see you where the necklace never came, for the shapeshifter who gave it to you was driven extinct, while the Garou was more successful in their war than they could ever know.
The knowledge that you have given me gives me more purpose, knowing that there are other times and places that I haven't lived, but another Cora has, where we could, all of us, all the Garou, could have been different. You said that they are all me. It gives me more purpose to make sure that the nation is united in the fight against the worm and Ragnarok. Because we all could have been different. It's there, that is all in us.
Brother Reckoning, these simple things, they think they see, but they do not. Isn't that so?
She is tied to her time. She is tied to herself. But for a moment, maybe just a moment.
Perhaps one day she will untether herself from the threads. But, even now I feel this stinging upon my flesh, with the crystals on, and my body free.
Spirits, thank you for the information you've given, and I will take what I can to heart, because you are right, my mind is limited. What, if anything, I couldn't imagine what I could do in return for the information that you've bestowed.
Still, she does not seek the continent that walks, brother.
She does not speak the great power.
She seems confused.
You followed the path there, then you abandoned it.
Fickle, perhaps more lost in her than she thought possible.
I don't intend to abandon a search this search. I just guess I'm not sure what I'm looking for anymore.
Seek the realm that reflects the crystal, infinite chaos within, and terrifying order from without, trying to contain it.
Seek the great spirit that wanders flux, that moves the realm of Gaia when needed most, to seed the soil with life, for those that will withstand the coming storm. That flux moves across the infinite tapestry, and you are but one part of it.
Seek the one whose scales sprinkle the earth, seeds of life, for much will end, and new life will be needed.
That's a lot of seeking, but I will.
Brother, come. As they both move, as you see them moving through the pattern webs, it stings their bodies, as their bodies are too chaotic to be this close to the penumbra. As they move and you see whole swaths of the umbral shift and change shape briefly before the pattern spiders reaffirm the pattern upon existence.
Ooh. Cora is gonna take a few deep breaths and try to calm herself. That was pretty intense for her. And she's gonna try and think on what they said and what they told her to seek out. Like, commit it to memory. And then she will go on her way to find Teresa, first of all, and then try and find, like, a more experienced Thurge who might know anything about what they're saying. More than what she does.
Well, she will try, but unfortunately most of the Thurges are doing their own thing, and Teresa is working with Kyle. And so we switch over to Kyle. It's been a couple weeks. You're finally feeling pretty relaxed. August is finally coming to a close, and it's starting to move into September. You finally regained enough of your mental energy, and you start approaching Fate Dancer.
Fate Dancer, how have you been?
Good. How have you been, Kyle? You seem much better since the last time we've had a real chance to talk.
Yes, I'm a lot more relaxed, a lot calmer now. Now that time has been put between the moot and, well, here.
So, what do you have for me? You seem to be coming here with purpose?
Yes, well, I thought if there was anything I could do for you, I'm free for, well, today and the foreseeable future.
Okay. Well, I was looking towards doing a few things. I was wondering, how committed are you to the concept of a council of elders? Still. I know that your final days is protege, and so I will not push it if you have conflicting thoughts about helping in this regard.
I obviously respect final days, and were he to lead this sept, I would happily follow. But a unified sept, to me, that meaning, to show other Garu what we could be, it's maybe not moved forward as easily with the council, but it is shown more easily with the council.
Well said. I actually have some ideas on how you could help.
I'd be happy to hear them.
So my thought is that we need to grow some support for older brother here at the Cairn. Too many see this as simply older brother versus unicorn, and that is not my intent, to be sure. And there are a few ideas I'd like you to try and do, simply to spread these ideas and these concepts around so that it gives us a better foothold in possibly creating a true form of unity rather than falling in line, which is what it feels like now. I'd like you to try and talk to some of the non-older brother members here at the Cairn and speak to them about how we have specific rituals that we want to keep to ourselves and a part of ourselves, but Final Days has barred any sort of rituals that are not done in the full sight of the rest of the Cairn as a way to try and dissuade secrecy between tribes. A good idea, but completely misses the point that we have our own holy rituals that we want to uphold for us so that they remain ours and we have deep connections to our tribal roots back before the discovery of the Pure Lands. They'd only be they'd only be on certain days on the lunar calendar, and I believe it will strengthen the bond with Golden Eagle, who has seemed to gone more quiet with Regender. For Regender promised many things and many deals were made, but I do not believe Golden Eagle sees them as being fulfilled anymore. And perhaps you could seek out other members of the Cairn who were pro One Elder, specifically Final Days, and maybe at least get them to bend on this. That way, we'll have something.
Try, of course.
Thank you. Well, if you don't mind, I'd like you to get more acquainted as well with Hiahi, Distant Song. She was firmly in Final Days' camp, but has recently taken a different view. Hopefully the two of you could brainstorm together and come to some additional understanding between each other.
Of course, I'd be happy to. I'd be happy to speak with them, and I've meant to get to know Steven's pack better.
Of course, as she brings you and goes, Distant Song. Are you ready?
Yes? Oh, yes, of course.
Excellent. I know you two have met, but I know that things have been, tumultuous at best.
Oh, of course. Lots of things have been happening over the past few months, but it's great to see you again, Guards Below.
And you as well, Distant Song.
So now I'm to understand I'm here to help brainstorm for some things?
So Fate Dancer has brought up that something that could help us achieve unity in the Sept, particularly between Older Brother and Unicorn, would be to, I suppose, repeal the ban on the private rituals.
Oh, that would be most exciting if it happened. Definitely. But as much as I respect Regender, I know him to be fervent in what he believes.
Yeah, he can be, but I think so long as we can, one of two things. One, if enough people in his camp, his supporters, believe this, he would likely bend. But I think, more importantly, if he felt that this would serve his long-term goals, he'd be more likely to give in.
Oh, most certainly it would fit into his long-term goals. We at Big Brother feel that we at Older Brother feel that a lot of the problems, spiritual and physical, here in the Sept is because a lot of our traditions and practices haven't been allowed to be performed. If Regender truly wishes to see a united Garu nation, then this would definitely aid him, because then Sacred Stone could become a model Sept. It could become a peak cairn.
So then the question, how precisely do we convince him that it fits into his long-term goals? I believe that it does as well. Not just because of the spiritual healing that might take place, but because it actually shows that he would be willing to, to bend.
I support Regender and his cause, but something I've noticed is that he seems, as much as he likes to plan for the long term, he seems a little bit too more focused on what's in front of him. If we can somehow show him that the practices allowed here could spread out to the rest of the nation, and this freedom of practice amongst the Septs, then possibly we could get other cairns and other Septs behind this too, leading to the unity that he wants. But I guess we need to have physical evidence of that.
Are secret rituals banned in other Septs as well?
No. Well, it depends. But usually that's some of the more hardline Septs that are not really espousing Final Days'
Okay,
goal.
like a Get a Fenris Sept might do that.
Or even a Fianna Sept, or a Shadow Lord Sept, if it's not their secret rituals.
So I think one of our best arguments for this is that not only older brother will have a problem with this, younger brother will, the Shadow Lords will, most other groups will have problems with their private rituals being shared, I guess, because it's part of their culture. So I think there's an argument to be made there.
Okay, so instead of showing him long-term solution, show him long-term problem that could arise if this isn't taken care of, pretty much, if it isn't leading towards this side.
So the other Septs, at least most of them, as in my travels, don't tend to force all of these rituals to be public. Now, arguing that with him could, of course, turn against us just by him saying, well, of course they don't, but the goal is that they should. We could argue that currently the policy is causing more division than it's helping, but that won't change his end goals, of course.
Then maybe, since it's not going to change his end goals, then maybe just treat it as just a temporary thing, maybe, possibly. But that wouldn't go well with my tribe, certainly not.
No, the two end states that work for this particular goal are that Regender still wants this, but will no longer try and pursue it, and Regender no longer wants this.
Okay.
So one of the things that we can bring up is that this does, although not in word, but in spirit, affects the Uktena far more than anyone else. The children of Gaia tend not to have rituals, secret rituals in the first place, but like all tribes, of course, they each have their secrets, but those aren't being revealed. So it could be argued, I suppose, that this rule is specifically unfair to people like the Uktena, but also doesn't affect the children of Gaia at all, whereas we do have other secrets we hold close to our chests.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. We could go talk to Howling King.
Why him specifically?
Well, I'm sure you've noticed too, but Howling King hasn't quite been the same, and I think he's been faltering. But if we go to Howling King with this argument, I'm pretty sure we might be able to get him on our side.
Well, if Howling King supports this, I suppose it would be more likely to sway Regender, since he would have noticed, and he wouldn't want to lose another supporter.
Certainly not. It's a little underhanded, but definitely to protect my tribe.
I wouldn't say it's underhanded. It's just fostering unity in a different way.
Huh. I like that.
And so, you guys reach out to Howling King as he's doing some stuff downtown. He's agreed to meet with you on a park bench that's rarely visited. As he sits down and goes, "Well, this is an odd sight. The hell do you two want?"
Well, I wanted to hear your thoughts on the ban on private rituals.
Ban on private rituals? You see him kind of like think for a moment. It's a strange amount of concentration for someone who's been at the Cairn for as long as he was, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, I don't necessarily agree or disagree with it. Mostly because my tribe doesn't have a strong enough presence here, though. Why? What are you thinking?"
Well, it seems to be causing more division than it's actually helping. It's... how exactly to put it? It affects the Uktena more greatly than, well, any of the other tribes in the Sept. Obviously, they're the second biggest. But the Children of Gaia don't tend to have secret rituals. So realistically, it, instead of fostering unity between everyone, it singles out the Uktena.
I guess so. Kyle, could I get a perception empathy real quick? Div 6?
One moment.
You notice something strange, like a kind of calm comes around Howling King, and it almost looks like his eyes change from blue to hazel. You don't know what that's about. As he goes, "Yeah, no, that is unfair. I think that to really push the angle of unity Regender espouses is to start by letting the members of Older Brother have their rituals. They're theirs, and if they don't want to share them, that is their choice."
We tend to agree, and it feels to me every tribe has their secrets. But in this cairn, should your secrets all be rituals, you either don't perform them, or you reveal everything that your tribe holds close to its chest.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Kyle. That's a good point. I think that is a good observation. I think that's something we should bring up to Final Days whenever we can.
I agree, and I should say, though, it isn't just my observation. It was from speaking with Distant Song that I was able to fully realize the unfairness.
As Howling King goes, "It's good. I appreciate it. You are wise beyond your years. I think this will help with that other goal of yours, Kyle."
Other goal?
You're trying to get the Council of Elders happening, aren't you?
I'll be honest with you. I'm still somewhat undecided. I think it's a good idea, but I also understand the value of having a single elder.
I can see that, but I think it's time. And I think after everything I've seen, and after recalling old conversations with Faces the Storm, I think it's time. He was starting to talk about a Council of Elders, and while I didn't go with it, I think now with so few members, it's a better idea to make sure that the net that holds us together is ironclad rather than rotting with distrust.
I think that's a fair point.
And so, you guys go off to continue your goals. Roy?
Yes.
You've had some time to bounce around, do some things here and there. It always seems like Zeb wanted to say something to you when he got back, but he jumped to another cairn, and he'd been basically wandering for months for the whole month, basically. So Zeb's been traveling for a month. He seems like he wanted to say something to you, but every time he shows up, it's close to the middle of the night, and he would rather eat and exchange pleasantries. He did share some information with the Elder, but on this September 3rd day, it seems that a friend of yours is leaving the cairn now. Gazes from afar is returning to the Sept of the Steel Mountain after a long moment here in the cairn.
Hey, Gazes from afar.
Roy Mindscape.
So I hear you're going back to your own cairn.
Yes, it's about time that I do that, now that things have settled down here for the moment.
Your presence will be missed, but you've definitely done a lot of help here. from what I've seen.
Well, it'll be good to be back in familiar land again. Yes, even though I am leaving here, I plan on moving on from Steel Mountain as well. I've learned all I can from the Weaver tribe, from the Glass Walkers, and my opinion on them and the Weaver still hasn't changed. But voicing my opinions to them would do nothing but cause more strife.
If I've learned anything from you, the path that we walk is not easy and with very little following.
Well, I believe that is why we walk such a path, not because it is easy or that we will have many to follow it with us, but because it will make us stronger.
From my learnings of walking this path, it is us that help teach others what we've learned, and I'm still one trying to learn more so at this time.
Well, there will always be new things to learn. This path is one with many lessons. Learning is good, but as I said to you before, I believe the last we talked, to refine your fire mind.
I feel I have been refining all 5 of my minds, honestly. It is a long path that I'm taking, with many obstacles and roadblocks, but I feel... No, I know I'm refining it and learning more of each mind.
I remember, Mindscape, that it will take more than one lifetime. I want you to remember that.
Undoubtedly so. And our lives are short. It's the culmination of the Garu Nation that keeps the teachings alive.
And that is why we are gifted many lives to refine our souls.
I will say, speaking back on the views of the Weaver, I'm becoming inclined to look at the Weaver more like you than I did before. A lot of what I held in my mind does not sit well with me now.
To refine oneself, one must chisel away at old ideas. And as you refine the 5 minds, I am sure that you will chisel away at many old ideas that you once had.
That holiday you reminded me about, that helped tremendously. I was able to cast away a lot of the worm that was festering in my heart. I no longer despise the Get, and the picture of the Weaver that was presented to me seems more true than what I thought of it before. So for that, again, I thank you for the reminder, so that way I could take that trip.
You are most welcome. I could already tell as of late that you seem to be different from your old self since you returned from that holiday.
I will say though, from returning from that trip, I feel like I'm breaking away from the illusion, but in so doing, I feel like I've lost control over my emotions to an extent. You've heard that I thralled twice at a moot, no less. And I need to figure out how to get that under control again.
Yes, I did hear of it, but yes, I did hear of it. So my suggestion to you is to refine the Earth Mind, and perhaps you should journey to Steel Mountain sometime and hear the Galliards sing of Dirt Wolf.
It sounds like a fine idea. I don't know what the Sept of the Sacred Stone has in store right now, and I feel like I might be needed here. But once I'm done, perhaps myself and my allies may take a trip down that way later, or possibly just myself. Never hurts to take some time for yourself. We were told as an order to do so. Perhaps next time I won't have to be ordered to take time off.
Well, the best of luck to you, Roy Mindscape. Never stop seeking the Gaiadama in the ways of our tribe. It is time for me to go.
Well, again, thank you for all of your advice, and may Chimera guide your path.
And may Chimera guide yours.
And so, gazes from afar, leaves the Sept of the Sacred Stone. And so, it's finally September 15th, and it is the first time in over a month that you're all back to the cairn. All of you with various stories to tell each other and to figure out what to do next. But we will discover what that is next time. Thank you to everyone who listened. We will catch you in that next episode. Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Goodbye.